Sai Ram. Dearest Bhagawan, revered elders, and my dear brothers and sisters, a loving Sai Ram to all of you. Once again offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of the Lord of Brindavan and verily the Lord of the universe, our beloved Sai Krishna. On the eve of the auspicious advent of the avatar of Lord Krishna, we are truly blessed to have his namesake as our speaker, Dr. Gopi Krishna Pidatala. Lovingly known as Gopi Bhaiya or Brother Gopi to thousands of youth and young adults everywhere, he hails from a family of devout Sai devotees who have been blessed to serve the Lord for the last 6 decades. Gopi brother himself has actively been serving Bhagawan for the last 40 years and was one of the 3 members of the elite group christened by Bhagawan himself as the Hyderabad Boys in 1985. At present, he is the convener of the Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program, National Coordinator for Special Projects and Programs of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, the National Team Coordinator of Vidya Jyoti, just to name a few of the critical positions he now holds. On the professional side, he is the Group CEO of Vista Imaging and Medical Center and Managing Director of Denuvo Source India Private Limited. He comes with a rich experience of over 35 years in varied fields like strategy, operations, procurement, and supply chain management. He has worked with leading Indian and multinational companies like Finolex, National Dairy Development Board, and Walmart, just to name a few. A successful sportsman and actor in his younger days, he has represented at the university and national levels in several sports including cricket, rowing, football, and has also been a part of national youth festivals. He has spoken to lakhs of students across the country on subjects of values, ethics, business communications, youth, and nation building, amongst others. He is also an author and has translated several books from Telugu to English written by eminent devotees of Bhagawan. I welcome you, sir, to please take over the podium and enlighten us with your wonderful experiences and learnings. Sai Ram.
मेरा कर्मा तू, मेरा धर्मा तू, मेरा सब कुछ तू, तेरा सब कुछ मैं। हर कर्म अपना करेंगे ओ साईं तेरे लिए, दिल दिया है जान भी देंगे ओ साईं तेरे लिए। सबसे पहले तू ही, तेरे बाद हर एक नाम है, तू मेरा आवाज है, तू मेरा मंजिल भी है। हम जिएंगे और मरेंगे ओ साईं तेरे लिए, दिल दिया है जान भी देंगे ओ साईं तेरे लिए, दिल दिया है जान भी देंगे ओ साईं तेरे लिए। Offering my most loving salutations at the Divine Lotus Feet of our most benevolent, most loving, best friend of our lives, our Swami, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. My pranams to my parents, but for whom I will not be standing here, the elders of the organization, brothers and sisters, the generals of the Sai Army, the students of the Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Sai Ram to all of you. First of all, I pray to Bhagawan to bless me so that he is the speaker and I his loudspeaker. For the next 45 minutes or so, let's have a roller coaster ride of divine experiences anecdotes, lovely directions, some satire, some humor of the Divine Lord. And don't hesitate to clap, because it is his story which is historical. Without wasting much time, I would now delve into a story of a young lad, maybe around your age. Swami had once called him to carry a few vibhuti packets back to Hyderabad from Prashant Nilayam to be handed over to a devotee of his, Justice Ishwar Prasad. This lad is the same lad who is standing before you right now. So, this lad was almost double the size of what he is presently. Swami lovingly used to call him Pakoda, Bonda, double size, Gatodgaja. And when Swami had called him from the bhajan hall into the interview room, this stout fellow could not get up and come fast. So Swami had gone inside the room, and the opportunity of having an interaction with Swami was lost. But nevertheless, Chiranjee Rao uncle, who was the administrator at the time, he came out and said, Swami asked me to give you these vibhuti packets. You should go tomorrow and hand it over to Mr. Justice Ishwar Prasad. So like a good boy, I went in the early hours in Hyderabad, knocked at Justice Ishwar Prasad's door at 5:30 in the morning. I said, Sairam, Uncle Swami had sent prasadam to you. He said, yes. He took the prasadam. He thanked me. And then that was the story. So I was returning back home. I had this idea that normally as human beings, let's say a small child, the mother asks something to be done. The child goes back and tells mother, Mama, I have completed this work. Let's say your professors have asked something to be done. You go back to your professor and tell them, sir, I have done it. Here was this Lord of the universe who had assigned me some work. So I thought it is my duty to go and tell Swami that, Swami, I have done this work. So I went back home. I told my mother, Amma, I am going to Puttaparthi. My mother looked at me and said, where are you coming from? She asked. I said, I'm coming from Puttaparthi. Then explained to her, this is what happened. She knew that I wouldn't stop. She said, go. So that evening I reached Prashant Nilayam. But the thing was that here was this lad who had a lot of ego, a lot of accomplishment. Swami had told him some work. He had accomplished that work. And he is coming back to tell Swami, Swami, I have done your work. So I was seated in the cyclone hall in the front rows. Swami would come and say, and I would get up. I would say, Swami, I have done this. Then Swami would say, Sabash. People around will say, Arey, what a great fellow this fellow is. He's done work for Swami. Lot of ego, balloon, big balloon. And I was seated there. Swami came. Swami came, lovingly he came. I got up. The moment I got up, Swami said, hey, kucho. One blast, kucho, sit on. And the tone of Swami was so harsh that, the balloon burst, the ego burst, and I was down, my head was down. I didn't know what to say. Everybody around me were looking at me. I annoyed Swami. Who is this fellow who is annoyed Swami? And what is going to happen now? And I was feeling so bad that I had annoyed Swami. And within a few seconds, there's a student who comes, say, brother, Swami is calling you, brother. So there was a great relief. I ran inside the interview room. Swami was in the interview room, a similar chair. Swami was having his hand like this and he was reading a letter. So I very carefully, once bitten, twice shy, so I stood a little away, very cautiously, and I was on my knees. Swami read the letter, put that letter there on the windowsill. Ippudu cheppara enti sangati. In Telugu he said, you tell me now what is it. I was very meek because I was cut down to size. I went meekly and said, Swami, మీరు ఒక కార్యం ఇచ్చితిరి అది కంప్లీట్ చేసుకుని వచ్చాను స్వామి. ఐ సెడ్ Swami, you had assigned me a task. I have come back to tell you that I completed. Swami was so happy. He said, Chala santosham. And he moved forward. He put his feet ahead. Normally what happens is, some of you might be knowing, you might have been very small, elders here would know. When Swami is walking by the carpet, you dive and touch his feet. That is diving namaskaram. Here Swami was himself giving a pad namaskaram, so I bent down, I kissed his feet and I was getting up. Our Lord is 5 feet 3 inches. So my height was like this. I said, Swami, in Telugu, Swami, idi na purva janma sukrutam Swami, I told him. Swami, this is the fortune of my previous birth. Correct? So this is what I said. Swami looked at me, smiled, and patak, he gave it on my cheek. Pichi vadivi. ఇది నీ కొన్ని వందలాది జన్మల సుకృతం రా, నువ్వు నా ముందున్నావు. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫార్చ్యూన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ హండ్రెడ్స్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ బర్త్ దట్ యుర్ సిట్టింగ్ ఇన్ ఫ్రంట్ ఆఫ్ మీ టుడే. Brothers and sisters, all of you who are seated here, you might be thinking it is by chance that you've all come here. Some of you are students here. You might be thinking by chance you might have been pushed by your parents or somebody, you must have come here. But let me tell you, Swami has been tracking each one of you from hundreds of birth. That is the reason you are here sitting here. Bangalore is such a big city. Whitefield is such a big place. There are hundreds and thousands of devotees. But why is it that maybe a few hundreds are here? You are destined to be here today. And it is divine will that has brought you. In fact, Swami had once, when we were talking to a student, Swami, we were all seated. And Swami suddenly picked up a student and he said, hey, what are you doing now? And he asked in English. The boy said, Swami, I finished BSc, Swami, he said. Swami said, Amy? He said. Then this fellow got a little jittery. Swami, I am to complete BSc, Swami. I have 2 more subjects to complete, Swami, he said. He changed his version. He first said, I completed BSc. Then Swami said, first go and complete your BSc. Seva, you can do it later. First complete your BSc. That is important. Your studies are important. Then one of the brothers who were sitting there in the TV room was trying to tell me, Swami, this boy is from Karimnagar, Swami. He was about to tell. Swami said, hey, I know his marks. I know what he is studying. I know everything. The relationship between me and my students is not of this janmas. This is janmala sambandhamra nadina students, he said. This is the relation that I have with my students from hundreds of years, he said. So students, especially since you're all here, I just wanted to tell you, it is not by chance that you've come here. If you're thinking that you have come here by chance, you are highly mistaken. Each one of you has been handpicked by Bhagawan and you are here only because of his divine will. Now going forward, I also want to talk to you about another incident. I'll try to actually capsulate my talk. We all know about this Swami's Ashtotram. We talk about Ashtotra Shatramavali. Let me pick up some beautiful, namams from the Ashtotram and see if I can collate some incidents with that. This is a story of a friend of mine by name called Riza Kilov. Riza Kilov is a scientific advisor from a country called Azerbaijan. I don't know how many of you know about Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is actually in between Western Asia and Western Europe, in the middle. Half of it is this side, half of it is that side. So this gentleman came to know Swami in 2003 when there was a bhajan happening in a place called Baku. In 2003, we were sitting over coffee, we were discussing this. And he narrates a beautiful incident to me. It goes like this. I believe this Riza had come back from a bhajan and he had just reached home, and suddenly from his neighbor's windowsill, he suddenly hears a shout. Somebody was crying, help me, help me, help me. So he rushed to this neighbor's house. He went inside to see that a lady was standing there, his neighbor, and she had a baby in her hands who was already blue and dead. Then he asked what happened, and she said that she was bathing the baby. By the time she actually picked up a towel, the baby slipped out of the hands and fell into the water and died. This was the situation. And they didn't know what to do. They were trying to contact the ambulance, but this Riza knew that the baby was dead. So he quickly called his sister, all of them came. Then immediately, you know what his sister said, why don't we rub vibhuti and see? So immediately they took vibhuti and they started chanting Gayatri mantram and started rubbing the body with vibhuti. By the time the third Gayatri was chanted, the baby came to life and started crying, I believe. The reason why I am telling you this story is, lot of us do not know the value of the vibhuti that Swami actually gives. I'll narrate a story. In fact, this happened way back when I had the opportunity of meeting Swami Chinmayananda. I don't know, most of you know Chinmayananda, the Chinmaya machine. It so happened that every 5 years from Hyderabad, we bring out a special volume on Swami's birthday. And I got a dream that day wherein Swami is telling me that collect one article from Swami Chinmayananda. So I woke up the next day. I told my father is a coveted officer of the Indian Administrative Service. I told my father that this has happened. My father said, okay, write a letter to them. Let's see if we'll get maybe an article. So I went to my office and it was around 10:30 in the afternoon. Suddenly my phone rings on the desk and there's a friend of mine, Shekhar. He says in typical Hyderabad Boys, "Are kahan hai re tu abhi?" He says, "Kahan hai tu?" मैं बोला ऑफिस में हो रे मैं टिपिकली अरे नहीं मामा चिन्मयानंद आएगा तो हैदराबाद में जाके मिलेंगे क्या I was very surprised. He says, Swami Chinmayananda has come to Hyderabad and do you want, let us go and meet him. See, last night I get a dream. In the morning there is a call, a friend of mine is calling me to meet Chinmayananda. So immediately we took our scooter and we went to that place where Swami Chinmayananda was there. By the time he had left, we thought, okay, anyway, Swami Chinmayananda is there, we'll catch him in Hyderabad, no problem. Evening when I was there in office, in fact, as I was preparing to get home, suddenly the phone rings on my table, and then, it so happens that another friend of mine calls and says, Gopi, where are you? Swami Chinmayananda is coming to a judge's home this evening at 4:30. Why don't you come and meet him? Let's go together. So we went, me, my wife, we all went to meet him. So Swami Chinmayananda was there, some Pada Puja was happening at that time. And after some time, he came and met this group of Sai devotees. So we were talking to him, but my objective of going and meeting Chinmayananda, article. I need an article. So I asked him, Swamiji, Guruji, I need a small help from you. He said, what is it? Guruji, I would want you to write an article on Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba for a special volume. And his immediate, what? You want me to write an article on Baba? Does Baba need public relations, publicity from Chinmayananda? He said. I said, no Guruji, I don't think so. And he rubbed me aside. So I went off and the discussions went on for some time. Again I took the opportunity. Guruji, it's not that we want you to write something so that it will be published. He said, no way, I'm not going to give you any article. No Guruji, let me tell you, let me complete. I got a dream last night wherein Swami told me to take an article from Swami Chinmayananda. That is the reason I am here. The moment I said that, he said, what? Baba came in your dream and told you to take an article from me? I said, yes, that is what I'm saying. He said, if Baba has come in your dream and told you to take an article from me, you will have an article from me. Because God can come in dreams. When God comes in your dreams, it is Satyam, it is Satyam, it is Satyam. So, lot of us, when Swami comes in our dreams, we brush it aside. I am telling you, without Swami's will, Swami will never ever come in your dream. And the interaction continued with Swami Chinmayananda, and there were some devotees who asked about river Sarayu. I don't know how many of you know about river Sarayu, the banks of where Lord Rama used to live. And the question was, Guruji, is it true that the Sarayu rivers are very powerful and it can cure any disease? Is what the question asked. He said, absolutely right, but let me also tell you something. He said, he looked at me and said, look into his pocket, you will find a packet of vibhuti in his pocket. I am telling you, the waters of Sarayu is one level, the vibhuti level is another level. Any problem, the vibhuti can clear. Any problem, any disease, the vibhuti can clear the disease, is what he said. So such powerful vibhuti Swami has given us as prasadam. But we are sometimes very skeptical. We want to apply vibhuti, we think twice. Please go ahead, children, I'm telling you, everybody, our trademark for Sathya Sai devotees is our vibhuti. This is something very important. In fact, I'll also continue to narrate a story about vibhuti. It so happened that, after our bhajans in Hyderabad, every birthday of Bhagawan, we normally celebrate with bursting crackers and stuff like that. So it so happened that one year, the celebrations were on. I was just coming back on a scooter and I saw a small girl who was about 5 years old who was lighting a pot, flower pot. The flower pots come out of mud, the big ones. She was lighting the pot with a sparkler. I saw it immediately caught hold of her hand and I said, this is not the way. In fact, her uncle is also here, Mr. Vinod Bhatia. He said, Beta, this is not the way to light a flower pot. You should keep it at a distance and you light it. Then I showed it to her. I took the sparkler. I put it to the flower pot burst. My entire hand, the entire flesh came out. And I was rushed immediately to the hospital. My brother-in-law was a doctor. He treated me. And it took some months to cure. About 7 or 8 months later, we were in the interview room. Swami was seated there and Swami was talking to her. Suddenly Swami turns to me and asked me in Telugu, hey, nee cheyyi ela undira? How is your hand now? He asked. 7 months had passed and I had no idea what was Swami talking about. My father was trying to tell something. Then Swami snubbed my father and said, Sitapati, nu undu? Cheppu, how is your hand? And Swami, before I uncuffle, Swami said, 3 machchalu unnai kada, 3 spots are there still, right? Then, I opened the thing, cuffling, and there were 3 big spots. Swami said, your doctor didn't treat you properly. Swami knew the doctor was my brother-in-law, but he said, your doctor didn't treat you properly. So I said, accept it. Swami said, don't worry about it, but let me tell you, that day, when the sparkler was being lighted, if that girl had lighted that pot, her entire face would have blasted. So that is the reason I brought you there to undergo this problem, he said, and I saved you, he said. And the best part of that story is, after he said that, he said, don't worry about this. Nu reputtu nunchi, from tomorrow, take 1 B complex and vibhuti water. In 3 months, this entire skin will get new skin will form. Exactly 3 months, entire hand came with new skin. So dear brothers and sisters, if you have major problems, first medicine that you should take is vibhuti. It might sound very skeptical to you, but I'm telling you, vibhuti does wonders. And the second thing is Sai Namam. The third thing is that take 1 B complex. I don't know what that combination of vibhuti and B complex is. He knows the combination. These two work very, very well. This is something. Now I'll move on to the third part of the story. And here is what I want to talk about. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Vatsalaya Namaha is what we talk about. Swami loves his doubts immensely. This is a story of my own family. It so happened, my wife, who is a state coordinator of Bal Vikas in the Telangana state, her parents had died in a fire accident while cooking for Narayan Seva. The cylinder burst. Both of them died on the spot. Within 2 days, they died. So, before that, in the year 1981, Swami, when I gave a collective interview, that my wife's mother pleaded with Swami, Swami, please take care of my children, take care of them properly, Swami. She pleaded in 1981. This accident happened in 1990. So at that point of time, 1980, Swami took all the children in his hug and said, don't worry, I will take care of your children. Now here was a scenario, for the 3 kids, the mother and father both were dead. And it so happened, this happened in November. And every month, my wife used to go to Puttaparthi, have darshan and come back. So Swami, after their death, on December 1st, gave an interview to all the 3 children. And Swami called all the 3 of them, hugged them again and said, from today, I promise you. Swami took my wife's hand, put his hand on his hand and said, I promise you that I am your mother and father from today. He promised. Imagine Swami promising somebody. Swami promised. I said, I am going to take care. So such was the relationship between them. My wife was actually, I was not married then. She later became a wife. That's a different story. So 2-3 months, every month they used to go to Puttaparthi. So one such instance, it so happened, she came to Puttaparthi for 3 days. Swami normally used to have an eye contact with her, maybe raise an eye or something. Normally when you are sitting in darshan, Swami passes by, even if he doesn't look at you, you feel that he has looked at you. That is the kind of connection that you have with Swami. So 3 days she was there, Swami didn't look at her, and she was going back, and she was weeping, saying that, Swami, I came. Swami said, I am your mother and father. He didn't bother to see me, and this is what happened. So she was feeling very, very dejected. She was going back. Next day morning, I was there in Puttaparthi. Swami had called me inside, and Swami was talking to me about some project. And I had the opportunity to say, Swami, Ninna Ganga vachindi, Swami. Ganga had come yesterday, but unfortunately she went crying, Swami, that you have not seen her at all. Swami said, Yenduku, why did she go crying? Swami, she felt that, you didn't see her. You didn't get even a eye contact also you didn't do. Then Swami said, Auna, is it so? You go and tell her, how did she come from Hyderabad by bus all alone, come here, stay here for 3 days, and then go back safely again to Hyderabad? Who do you think traveled with her from Hyderabad? Who brought her here? Who looked after her here? How did she go back? It was me all through the time I was there with her. You go and tell her, he said. So most of us normally we feel, Swami Mantod Leru, Swami is not there with us, Swami is not caring about me, I am studying well, definitely, but I am not getting marks, Swami is not doing anything for me in my life. These feelings come very, very rapidly. But I am telling you, Swami says, as long as you think about Swami, Swami will start thinking about you. This is a very important concept that you should think about. So, I will now delve into a story of Swami post-mahasamadhi. Lot of people think that Swami is not there physically, he is now in the samadhi, he may not be helping us now or anything. This is a story, a real-time story of how Swami actually supports you in your life. Sri Sathya Sai Artatrana Parayanaya Namaha. He is the one who saves those afflicted or who are in distress. This is a story which happened in 2014. I was traveling to the United States of America on an official visit to buy a robotic machine for hair transplantation. I had another doctor with me, a plastic surgeon. We were both traveling to US. And it so happened that just before the night I was traveling the next day from Hyderabad by a British Airways flight BA 277. A brother of mine, a Sai brother, whom I know him very, very well, who is a part of my team, he called me and said, Gopi Anna, I believe you're going to US tomorrow, can you do a small favor? I said, Kya hai bata? He said, I have some medical samples with me and I want you to kindly take it with you and hand it over to a friend of mine in US. I asked him, do you have the paperwork? He said, all documentation is there. All of this is FDA approved. You take it. Don't worry. No problems at all. Then I said, bring it over. He said, no. I will meet you in the airport tomorrow morning. 7:30 is your flight. I will see you around 4:35. I will come to the airport and give it. So he brought 3 packets of medicines. I was carrying 3 suitcases. And I put in 3 different bags, 3 packets, and I went. So I landed in Chicago airport. And it so happened, I told my colleague who was a plastic surgeon, I said, Dr. Balasubramaniam, you go through the green channel and you wait outside for me. We had to catch another flight from Chicago to Denver. You go and stand. I'll come out. I'll go to the customs. I will tell them that I have brought this. I'll get the clearance from them and come. So I went to the customs and there was a lady there who was sitting. I told her, I have some medicines. Want to report it. I pulled it out from one of the bags and I gave it to her. Then she said, okay, do you have the documents, sir? She said, yes, I have the documents. I gave the documents to her. She went through the documents. And then she looked at it and she said, sir, can you please wait for a few minutes? So I was standing there for some time. And there was some discussion that happened between officers. And after 10-15 minutes, she came back to me and said, sir, I'm sorry to say that these drugs are banned for entry into the United States of America. This is drug abuse, and we will not be able to allow you to bring it inside the country. I said, these are documents that I have. These are FDA documents, and these are approved documents, of this by the Federal Department of the America. She said, let me have a look at the documents. She looked at the documents. She said, these are not the FDA documents. Sir. These are prototype of FDA documents. These are not accepted. Then she says, we'll have to interrogate you, sir. This is drug abuse. We might have to arrest you. We might have to impound your passport. And we might have to deport you. I was zapped. In an alien country where I don't know anything. And here I was. They were saying that I have brought in drugs into the country. They took me to a room, a huge room, a steel room, and I was interrogated for close to about 6 hours. One-on-one, groups of individuals, they came. The way they interrogated me, I can tell you, it was so bad. They treated me the most filthiest manner any human being can be treated. It was so bad. I said, can I call somebody? Can I see a lawyer? They said, no way. I said, my brother is the head of World Bank for Africa. He lives in Washington, D.C. Can I talk to him? He's a United Nations employee, He said, no way, sir. We won't allow anything. You are under arrest right now. We will not be able to let you talk. They didn't even give me water. Not even water. That was my situation, so bad. And I didn't know. One lady officer came to me and said, you will have to wait, sir. The captain will come now. The captain will take a decision what is to be done with you right now. We will decide after that. And another lady came to me and said, I want to tell you, man, you're not going to get out of this. The captain is from Pakistan origin. He's not going to help an Indian, she said. Worst scenario. Such a scenario. And I was sitting there. I was not knowing what to do. Then it struck to me, sir, I am speaking the truth. I am a member of the Sathya Sai Seva organization. I was trying to pull out a card that was given by Brother Sundar at that time, a registration card. I was trying to see it. He said, we don't know anything. Let the captain come, we'll decide. This was the situation, totally broken, totally shattered. And I was crying for the first time in my life. I said, what did I do? What has happened to me? And I was just weeping. Then the captain came. His name was there, Mustafa. He said, oh, you are the guy who's smuggling narcotics into my country? He came and then he started blasting at me, you'll see the end of your life, and all these things he started. And I said, no, captain, listen to me. I'm speaking the truth. I am a member of the Satsang organization. I speak only the truth. These are drugs that have been given from my friend of mine. The documents are there. I have more samples in this bag. I can show it to you. He said, you have carrying more? He asked me to pick it up. He took that thing. Then they sent it for testing and everything. And he said, now we're going to take action on you. I was pleading with him. I was begging. Sir, you listen to me. I am speaking the truth. No way. And then finally I had another bag. Then I said, sir, I'm telling you, I am a devotee of Sathya Sai Baba. Do you know who Sathya Sai Baba is? I'm telling him, man with hair, everything, this is Sathya Sai Baba. I'm a devotee of his. No way. And I said, I have samples, sir. I'll show it to you. I opened the third suitcase. In the third suitcase, right beneath the suitcase, right at the bottom, I had a set of books which we published. Sathya Sai, The Avatar of Love is the book title. Neatly wrapped in a brown cover. It was packed and kept at the bottom of the box. I opened the suitcase. As I opened, whatever I had kept at the bottom of the suitcase, the entire packet was on the top. The knot was open. I open, the book rises like this, and as the suitcase cover goes back, the book goes like this, and the book stands at the back of the suitcase, and you can see Sathya Sai, the Avatar of Love. Swami's picture is like this. And I said to him, Captain, this is Sathya Sai Baba I'm talking about. This is what I am. I belong to his organization. I am speaking the truth. He looks at the picture, he looks at me. He looks at the picture, he looks at me. He said, who is this weirdo? He said, who is this weirdo? Saram. He says, who is this weirdo? Then I said, this is Sathya Sai Baba I'm talking about. This is Sathya Sai Baba. And he said, hey, did this guy go to Pakistan anytime? He's asking me whether Swami went to Pakistan. How do I know whether Swami went to Pakistan or Timbuktu or which place he went? I don't know. I said, Swami, I don't know. No, one of my friends actually, they told me they did a medical camp in Pakistan. It was Dr. Upadhyay from UK who did that camp, and I believe one of my friend's mother got operated there. And I said, sir, this is what Sathya Sai Baba. He looks at me, and he calls his officer. Hey, this guy is speaking the truth. Let him go, he said. One shot. And do you know, my colleague left because 9 hours have standard there interrogation. He had left to Denver. My flight had gone. The captain Mustafa gave 2 officers. They took me to the United Airlines counter. They got me a ticket for the next day. They took me in their car to the hotel. They put me in the hotel and said, if you don't have a problem, call this number. We'll pick you up and drop you back at the airport tomorrow morning. Now tell me, brothers, who else can help at that moment? We normally think about our own self that we can achieve. It was that moment, I waited, I was thinking I'm powerful enough, I can speak on myself. Till that moment, I surrendered to that Lord, saying, Swami, please help me. I need to get out of this. At that time, Swami comes, Nenunnanu kada, why fear when I am here? And this is what Swami showed it to me. So, this is such a beautiful reflection of Swami's love. Swami always says, Adavulayantunna Akashamunanunna Pattanamlanunna Pallanunna Guttamidanunna Natteta Nadamanunna Viduvadu Ninnu Isai Viduvadu Ninnu Isai Bhaktulara. Whether you're in the jungle, or you're in a city, or in a village, or in a mountain, or in the middle of an ocean, Swami will never leave you. You may leave Swami, but Swami never will leave you. And this is a classic example of divine love. Where is the US customs people dropping me off, Can you ever imagine? That is the love of Swami. Now, when we talk of love of Swami, I also want to talk to you about Swami has got Apurupa Shakti. We say Sri Sathya Sai Apurupa Shaktine Namaha. That means he is very delightful and he has got wonderful powers. This is the story of a doctor, Dr. Vyagreshwaradu. I don't know how many of you know Dr. Vyagreshwaradu. If any of your children are studying medicine, for every MBBS student, The orthopedics textbook is written by Dr. Vyagresharadu. Vyagresharadu is a very ardent devotee of Swami. He set up the Sathya Sai Polio Foundation, a wonderful foundation where he did hundreds and thousands of polio operations in those days. So this was a story that he narrated to me. He had come to Coimbatore when I was doing my master's in Coimbatore in a master's program. I had taken about 150 postgraduate students to help him out perform surgeries. Since I was a Telugu guy, I was supporting him during his operations. You won't believe, he did from in the morning 6 a.m. till night 11 p.m. He did 302 operations. Imagine, that is the commitment levels Dr. Vyagresharadu had. So, Dr. Vyagresharadu was narrating this incident to me. I believe one day, he and his son-in-law were actually traveling to meet a relative who is not feeling well in Visakhapatnam. I don't know how many of you are from Visakhapatnam, but towards the port, there is an unmanned train gate. So they had gone by car, they were coming back, and they both were talking to each other, and then the car was going. And suddenly, Dr. Vyagresharadu realizes that as he was driving, he was just a few inches away from a running train. This is an unmanned gate. He was driving, and he was about to go and hit the train. What will happen? A moving train, you go and hit, the train will go, but the car will also go. This is how it happens. So in this scenario, he doesn't know what happened, and after some time he realizes his car right door was open, he is fallen there almost 5 feet away, his son-in-law's car door was open, he's sitting there, he's down there at 6 feet distance. The car had gone and hit the train had stopped, the car headlight went and is touching the train, the headlight broke. This is the scenario. So they realized something had happened. So the train went off, they went to a mechanic. The mechanic asked me, sir, how did this headlight break, sir? He said, I went and hit a train. Then that automobile engineer fellow thought, this fellow is drunk. He doesn't know what is drinking. Go and hit a train and headlight is working. What is this? So it happened, they forgot about it. So Dr. Vyagresharadu tells me a few months later, he had gone to see Swami. And it so happened, and Swami was talking about it, and then said, "Aa roju emaindi Vyagresharadu?" He said. Then the doctor was wondering, what is Swami referring to? Then he says, Swami, I will tell you, Swami is saying, that day you had gone to see a relative of yours, you were coming back, you were happily talking with your son-in-law, you did not know what was happening, there was an unmanned gate, the train was going, you didn't know, last minute you saw, seconds, and you didn't know what to do, you left the steering and cried out, Amma, you cried out. You know what happened then? When you cried, Amma, you know who came? This Saima came to help you. He said, I came to help you. You know what I did? I opened your door, I picked you up and threw here. I opened the other door, I threw your son-in-law there. I stopped the train. In the meantime, I was a little delayed. The headlight went and touched the train. Swami says. And you know what that mechanic thought? The mechanic was thinking you were drunk totally. So, imagine, this Lord is such a beautiful Lord who's sitting there. And I tell you, whichever name you call him, whatever form you actually render your seva towards him, whichever manner you pray to him, he will respond. I am telling each one of you, I do not know if any other God can respond so fast or not, but this God who is sitting here right now listening to this talk will respond like this. Swami said, Arey, మీరు ఎంత బాగా నాకు ట్యూన్ అవుతే అంత ఫాస్ట్గా నేను మీకు ట్యూన్ అవుతాను. The moment how much you tune yourself to me, I tune myself so fast to you. And he said, I will not come by train, I will not come by flight, I will come like this, I will come like this. Swami was telling us, I will come like this. Can you imagine? Swami? I know most of you might not have seen Swami, but I'll tell you, this is the avatar that we are talking about. And I will take you to another story. This is something related to medical sciences. We normally say, Om Sri Sai Arogya, Om Sri Sai Sarvaroga Nivarane Namaha. My family, my entire family, I have 2 elder brothers and 2 elder sisters. Every part of our life has been taken care by Swami. All diseases cured by Swami. All my entire family is indebted for janmas and janmas and janmas to Swami. I'll tell you the story of my eldest brother. My eldest brother recently retired as the head of the World Bank for the African continent. And it so happened when he moved to US in the year 1981, Swami performed his marriage. Swami blessed him. Swami blessed my sister-in-law. He put his hand on her head and he said, Dirga Sumangali Bhava. You will be blessed all throughout your life. You will be wedded happily in your life. But it so happened after 6 months, my brother had a dreaded disease. He was about to die. He had bacterioendocarditis. They said he will never live, but Swami saved him. That is one part of the story. You can go to Sanatan Sarthi and read that article of mine. The second part of the story is, in 1985, it so happened, after this cure of the first disease, suddenly my sister-in-law calls from Culpeper, is a place in the United States. She calls my father and says, Krishna, my eldest brother's name is also Krishna. She calls him and says, Krishna is down with a problem, neurological disorder, and tomorrow the doctors want to operate him, and it is going to cost about $50,000, and they're going to operate him at 8:30 in the morning. We had 24 hours window. My father told my sister-in-law, don't take up any operation till I tell you. And they told her, the doctors told him, that he can become a vegetable if the operation fails. You know what a vegetable is? Completely out of action. All nervous system will go for a toss. He'll be totally a vegetable if the operation fails. So my father said, wait. So me and my father rushed to Puttaparthi. For us, what is the best way? You have a problem, run to his feet. I am telling you, all of you, follow this. Don't run anywhere. Don't waste your time running anywhere. Run to him. The only solution is with him. We ran to Puttaparthi. So we were called inside the interview room. The moment we went into the room, Swami was saying, Yemi, kodukiki arogyam bagaleda. Even before my father could speak, Swami is talking about it. What happened? Your son's health is not okay? Don't worry, I will take care of him. Even before. So we were happy, we came back. So next day was the operation, we were trying to connect, but the story took a different turn. It so happened, 8:30 morning, my brother was to be operated. The assistant doctors, everybody were trying to get to prepare to him for the operation. And this main surgeon is happily coming into my brother's room, whistling, I believe. Very happily he is coming. And my brother was very surprised. This guy was so tensed, he said, I have to operate you tomorrow, you will become a vegetable, you will not be able to live. All this time, he's coming happily, he's smiling and is whistling and coming. My brother asked him, what happened? Hey, I'll tell you something, what happened. He said, I believe. Normally, after 7 o'clock, after I finish my clinic, I go home and relax. Last night, after I saw you and I fixed up your appointment for operation, I was going back home, my phone rang, and an old classmate of mine with whom I studied in my undergraduation, he called me. He said, I am in your place, Culpeper, right now. I have come here for a conference, and it so happens I am free in the evening. Why don't we catch up for dinner? And normally this doctor, I believe, never goes out. He's an old dorm fellow, like you live in your dormitory, He was also there in the dormitory. He said, old friend, let's go. So they went. So during that dinner, this doctor told him, normally when I go for a dinner, after my office hours, I don't discuss anything about my professional matters. But it so happened that day, I started discussing your case with this friend of mine. And I came to know that this friend of mine had done extensive research on brain aneurysm, which was a problem my brother was going through. And he said, don't do the operation. You hold on for 6 months. Nothing is going to happen. There's a different technology that we have started doing. It's a research methodology that we have developed in Ireland. And I will tell you how to handle this case. And he said, don't worry, we'll take care. And then that is how he suggested medicine, and the doctor didn't do the operation, everything went by. So 3 months later, my brother came from US. We were in Prashant Nilayam. Swami called the entire family into the interview room. We were all seated there. And Swami said, Yemi ela unnavu, how are you feeling now? And then my brother said, Swami, this is how, I'll tell you what happened. He wanted to operate you 8:30, but it so happened that, your father came running to me. I had to save you. You know what happened? I made that friend who was supposed to not meet you call you. I made him to come to the dinner. I made him actually talk to you about the problem. And I was the one who suggested what treatment should be given so that this operation doesn't happen. Swami said, your brain is absolutely perfect. Your brain will not have an operation at all in your life at all. Imagine how Swami can create the blocks in your life. You have to only depend on him. That is the story about it. And there is no reason for us. See, a lot of us actually get dejected and disappointed. Ye kaam nahi hua, wo kaam nahi hua, ye kyun ho raha hai? Arey, you don't realize that you are living as a contemporary of an avatar. You have not seen Rama, you have not seen Krishna, you have not seen Allah, you have not seen Jesus. You have seen Sathya Sai Baba. Whether you have not physically seen him, but at least you are seeing his videos, you know what his magnanimity is. How beautiful is it? Swami, in one of his beautiful poems, he says, Yela nirasha Sai Studanga Yela nirasha Paramardamu Kella Padarani Badalu Paduchunna Bhaktulaku Pattukommai Undanga Devadi Devudu Dikkai Undanga Yela Nirasha. Swami himself sang this. He says, why are you guys getting dejected and disappointed in life? You have a branch to hold on. The Lord of the Lords, the Sathya Sai avatar is amongst you. Hold on to that branch of Sathya Sai and he will ensure that he will take you across the ocean of life. What a beautiful persona, what a beautiful phenomena that we have amongst us. Swami, realize that. Now, in fact, Brother Ravi was asking me to narrate one incident that happened way back. I have narrated it in most of my Samarpans, but I will go ahead and narrate this story once again. This is about an incident that happened way back in 1993. This happened in Hyderabad. This showcases Swami's love, pure love. In fact, Swami once had held his jubba like this, and he was telling us, purest form of love in the universe, Ra. Purest form of love in the universe. So this is the story of that. It so happened Swami had come to Hyderabad to inaugurate the Sathya Sai Nigamagamam. A beautiful auditorium was constructed. Brother Sai is also here, who was a part of our team. And it so happened that Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao was to inaugurate this beautiful building. And in this auditorium, the who is who of the country were seated. I'm telling you, there on the dais, along with Swami, there were three union ministers and 7 chief ministers of the entire country. All of them were on the dais. And for the first time in the history of the Sathya Sai mission, we had a motorcycle escort team. I don't know, now the students also do the escort thing. There were an 8-member escort team. This was started by the Hyderabad youth group. And I led the team right in front of Swami's car. I am on a motorbike, 2 flanks, 2 flanks, 2 flanks, 2 at the back. Totally 8-member team. So I was right in Swami's front actually. And we were driving from Shivam. Shivam is where Swami's abode in Hyderabad. We were going to the Kalyan Mandapam. As we were approaching the Kalyan Mandapam, a circle inspector or a sub-inspector who was on a motorcycle, he came to right beside me and said, "Sir, please slow down your convoy. The Prime Minister's convoy is coming from the other side. If you continue at the same place, you might clash both the convoys might clash, one have to halt. I said, okay. So I started going at a slower pace. But so happened, the gate was just there, and I was only about 100 yards away. And as I see, the Prime Minister's convoy is just 100 yards away. Now here was a situation, will the Prime Minister's convoy enter? Then Sathya Sai convoy has to stop. If Sathya Sai convoy has to stop, the Prime Minister's convoy, if the Sathya Sai convoy has to move forward, Prime Minister's convoy has to stop. This is the scenario. And I had to take a split decision. It was a momentary decision I had to take because the final decision was mine, what to do. Then there was a young boy called Naveen who studied in Brindavan campus itself. P. Naveen, I think, Ravi sir and Nand sir know about Naveen. One of the extraordinary young people that Swami loved so much. Swami in fact gave him a trophy also later on. So he was on the left flank of Swami's window. I signaled to him. He came straight beside me and he said, Anna, enti? What is it? I said, go and stop the Prime Minister's convoy. He zoomed, he took the motorcycle, he put it across, he put his hand like this to the Prime Minister's convoy, and he said, let this convoy go inside. We entered into the Sathya Sai Kalyan Mandapam, a huge marriage hall, And there were huge steps. Chakravarti uncle was there, everybody was there. Prime Minister's convoy later on came. Swami waited, all of them were walking. There were 5 chief ministers, Swami, home minister, all ministers and everybody, governor. And the best part of it was, the car that was being driven, in which Swami was seated, was driven by Sri H.J. Dora, who was the commissioner of police at that time, an ardent devotee of Swami. Now it so happened, we went and parked. All of us, 8 motorcycles, we parked there. And Swami was walking up, and a team of policemen came and said, sir, you are all under arrest. There is a security breach. The Prime Minister's convoy has been stopped. You are all under arrest. Now, stopping and a security breach of the Prime Minister is a non-bailable warrant. You have no chance of even appealing because it's the security of the Prime Minister of India. So we knew we are doomed. And I knew it very well because I was working for the government. My father was an IAS officer and my uncle was an IPS officer. I knew the entire story what is going to happen. I know it was. I said, please wait. Swami is going up. Let him go up. Let him go inside. Then we will come with you. So Swami was walking up. Huge steps Swami was walking up. If 1-2 steps Swami goes inside. Swami अंदर गए हमारा दुकान बंद है यहाँ पे. We are gone. We are doomed. And Swami was about to take the last step. Swami turns back and he says, come up. Swami is waving the hand to come up. And nobody knows whom Swami is calling there. Everybody is looking. Whom is Swami calling there? And we were also saying, who is Swami calling? Then Swami told Chakravarti uncle and immediately the message comes, Swami is calling you. So we all ran up. When the Lord is calling, which Prime Minister will stop, which Police Commissioner will stop, who will stop? Nobody will stop. So we all ran with Swami. Swami said, come inside. So we went into the auditorium. And I tell you, when I went into the auditorium, I was thinking, what is this place here? You name the person in India and that person is sitting there. Jam-packed. 1,450 people. The who is who of India is sitting there. And then Swami comes to the podium. We are also Swami, we are right behind Swami. Swami calls Chakravarti uncle. Chakravarti? Swami says, Swami. He says, now escort boys, ekkada kuchuntaru? Where will my escort boys sit? Then Chakravarti uncle doesn't know an answer. He doesn't know. There is no place for us to sit. He says, Swami, place ledu, Swami. Huh? Place leda. He looks at like this. Then right in front of the podium, Swami stage, there is a box there where VVIPs were seated. Swami points at it and said, let the boys go and sit there. There are 8 seats there. Ask them to vacate. The boys will go and sit there. So the people who are VVIPs were asked to get up. We went and sat there. In that auditorium, you will not believe even water is not allowed. Swami sent cool drinks to us. Swami sent ice creams to us. Swami sent everything to us and we are eating. His program is happening, we are eating. So happily we were eating there. Everything happened, the program was over. Swami and the Prime Minister, along with the Chief Minister, everybody, he is walking down. So that's the lobby, Swami has to walk out. So all of us, we were standing in line there, and Swami is walking down. As soon as Prime Minister and Swami come, I said, team, salute! Everybody gives a beautiful salute. And we were all in white clothes with peaks, Sathya Sai security force, badges, immaculate, befitting Swami's level. And suddenly Swami sees, and he comes forward. Narsimha, Swami calls, Narsimha Rao comes. Narsimha Rao comes closer. He said, Narsimha, Niku evaru tolcha villu? Do you know who these boys are? And then Narsimha Rao is, Swami, these are my escort boys. Swami is introducing us, these are my escort boys. And Swami said, hey, introduce, say. Then I introduced the team there, whoever the boys were there, we introduced. And that was it. I thought Swami will go, finish. Then Swami says, Narsimha, నీకు తెలుసా వీళ్ళు ఒక పెద్ద తప్పు చేసినారు ఈరోజు. He says, these boys have done a big mistake, grave mistake. अरे अच्छा खासा है boss, क्यों? Why are you putting fire? Swami is putting fire there. Then Narsimha says, Swami, what happened, Swami? Hey, Chepra. Swami is telling me to tell the Prime Minister. I said, sir, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, we did a big mistake today. We stopped your convoy today. We had a security breach. We stopped your convoy today. So this was what I said. And before Narsimha Rao garu could respond to this, Swami is saying, hey, why did you do like that, man? Why? Enduku chesnavu atla nuvu? Are, he's adding fire. Then, I was thinking, are, kya hai ye? Chippu, why did you do like that? Then I was very clear in my mind. That is also his gift. So I was very clear. I said, Swami, sir, I thought that Swami should go first inside, then the Prime Minister should come. That is the reason I stopped the Prime Minister convoy, sir. That is the mistake that I did, I said. I told him this. And Prime Minister looked at me and smiled and said, Swami, వాళ్ళు తప్పు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు స్వామి, కరెక్టే చేస్తున్నారు కదా, భగవంతుడు తన తర్వాతే కదా స్వామి ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ గాడ్ ద ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ కమ్స్. He said, Hare, immediately, this, he said, then Swami didn't stop there. Mari Narsimha, వీళ్ళ మీద కేసు ఫైల్ చేసినారే. He said they filed a police case against these boys already. Then Narsimha Rao got very serious. Then the National Security Guards commander was right about 10 feet away. He called him like this. So that guy came and saluted, He said, no case against these boys. Prime Minister's orders. Cancel, dismiss. Immediately, within seconds, Swami cleared the whole scenario of it. And this ended like this. And we were so gratified, Swami coming to the succor of normal human beings who motorcycle riders. And Swami started walking like this. It's a beautiful scene. Swami, Narsimha Rao was there and Swami was walking. He was pancha like this, he was walking like this. Suddenly, he turns like this, he smiles. And so beautifully he said, the divine drama that he pays, is unbelievable. And I'm telling you, where can we find such a lovely friend? Swami is full of love. Full of love. It's only thing that is that we need to actually feel that love. In this Sai Ramesh Hall and Brindavan have got so many beautiful memories that we have. I'll narrate a beautiful incident, that happened right here. So it was one of those visits, there's a society called Sri Prashanti Society in Hyderabad. There are a lot of IAS and IPS officers in this group. Former Chief Secretaries, Director General of Police, judges, they're all a part of this group. So it so happened they made a trip here to Brindavan. I don't know if Vinod Bhatia is also there. I don't know, Vinod Bhai is here from our team here, sitting here. So Swami, we all came to Brindavan here. The moment we came and sat here, it so happened a few days before that, my father had gone to Puttaparthi and my father had mentioned to Swami that, Swami, the Prashanti Society members want to come here. And Swami said, Em avsaram ledu, ippudu tarvat chuddam. It was a casual mention, Swami. So my father came back and told the members, Swami didn't want, but they already prepared the trip, they paid for the bus, everything, so they all came. There were 7 professors. The chief secretary of Andhra Pradesh was in the bus. There was the state trust convener in the bus, and all of them were there. We all came here. In fact, lucky I was not there, but I handled some of the operations at the time. So it so happened, Swami, the moment he saw the entire group, he came and said, "Hey, enduku vachinaru meeru? Hey, why did you come? I told you not to come. Why did you come?" And Swami admonished everybody. Then meekly he said, "Swami, Ucham, Swami, we prepared for this trip, so we came." So Swami spoke something and he said, next day he didn't see. So they were planning to travel back the next day. It so happened that, they were sitting there, and there was a discussion. There was a blind man who was sitting beside them, Mr. Nageshwarao, my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, who is no more. He was sitting beside and he was talking to this blind man. And he was telling, we are from Prashant Society, Hyderabad, and we are going. Then that blind man said, "What time are you starting?" He said, "We are starting now." He said, "What is the time?" He said, "It's 4 o'clock." Then he said, "Why are you starting Rao Kalam? You should not start now." That blind man said, "Rao Kalam, you don't start." But the elders were there and Natarajan uncle, everybody were there. They said, no, it's okay. 10-15 minutes, Rao Kalam will not do any effect. We'll start, go. They went. There was a change in bus driver. The bus driver took. Just outside Chikbalapur, they were crossing the Andhra border, the Karnataka border. They were getting to Andhra border. The driver who was driving this 20-seater minivan, he didn't see a stationary vehicle. He went and banged into it. Head-on collision. Till that time, there was a gentleman called Satish Desai who was sitting in the chair. He came back as they were singing, and an elderly gentleman called Mr. Shastri, who was a great devotee of Swami, who wrote so many bhajans on Swami. He never had darshan of Swami, but he wanted to come, so he came. So he was saying, he went and his leg got stuck. They rushed him to the hospital. He died in the hospital. And just before the death, he spoke to my father-in-law. He said, I always wanted to have a darshan of Swami, and I didn't have an opportunity. I think perhaps Swami has called me to have this darshan, my last darshan, and I'm not going to be there anymore. And he died, subsequently he died. So a few months, weeks later, we all went back to Swami to thank him. Because, he saved, out of the 24 people, one died, 23 people survived. And it so happened that they were very big people, the joint collector, collectors, everything, the entire government machinery was in action. Because all the IAS, IPS officers were in the bus. So it so happened then we went to Swami to thank Swami. Swami, we just wanted to thank you. So Swami then called everybody inside the interview. He said, 2 mistakes you have done. The first mistake, Rao Kalam and Cheptini, Kani Baildernaru. I told you it is Rao Kalam, but even then you started. So brothers and sisters, when it is Rao Kalam, it is Rao Kalam. When the Lord himself says it is Rao Kalam, we should listen to him. The second thing Swami said is that, Nenu voddu and Cheptini vastiri. When I tell you not to do it, don't do it. Swami might casually tell you, in your dreams he might tell you, don't do this. It's a bad habit, don't do it. Listen to Swami. It's a direction that is coming from Swami. So be very careful of any direction that you get from Swami. This is the second point. Third thing, when we told Swami, Swami, we thank you for saving us. Swami said, no, I didn't do anything. All of you who were in the bus, you did a lot of good deeds in your life, and your good deeds saved you. The seva that you did saved you in your life. Brothers and sisters, Swami often tells us this point. Nuvvu na seva chestu po, ee sai nee seva chestu potadu. You continue to do seva. I will continue to do your seva. Anywhere you get an opportunity to render seva, don't miss that opportunity of rendering seva. This is a great lesson that we got from Swami. Yeah. So I think, I'm shooting time. So I will just share a few more points, which is very important, especially for youngsters. During one of the interactions with Swami, Swami was telling us as to why God gave shutters to eyes and mouth. But he did not give shutters to ears and nose. Swami asked this question and we were not able to answer. Then Swami went on to explain, gave the great example of Shailya, Karna's charioteer, how negatively he used to talk to Karna, saying this won't happen, whereas Sri Krishna, who was a charioteer, was so positive in mind. You should always have positivity. He was explaining to all youngsters, how positive you should be there in your life. During that course, Swami said, see, do you know why God gave shutters to eyes and mouth? There are two things. When you actually listen to something, the capacity to retain that by a brain is very low. After some time, you will forget it totally. Similarly, if you actually smell something, the smell exists for some time, but after that, it goes off. But when you actually see something negative with your eyes, the photographic impression is hitting your brain and it will sustain for a long, long time. And that is the reason God has given shutters to your eye. So when there is negativity that is seen to you, Swami says, close your eyes, internalize yourself, think of the Divine Lord within you, don't look at negativity. Similarly, he said, the mouth, despite the fact that it also helps in tasting, it also actually helps you in talking. It so happens that today, Swami said, this Nalika, the tongue, Maya is actually dancing like a nartaki. Swami is saying, the Maya on your tongue is dancing like a nartaki. You know what a nartaki is? A dancer. Swami said, what is needed for the youth of today or my devotees, what I want is, this nartaki that is dancing on your tongue, Swami says, reverse it always. Swami says, nartaki, when you reverse it, it becomes kirtana. So you involve yourself in kirtana all through the time and all the negativity within you goes off. And this becomes the connect between me and you. That is what Swami said. So brothers, I think this is a very important lesson that we have to take it forward. Another thing I would like to end with is a story of, I got a lot of stories written here, so I was just thinking about it. This is a story I would like to end with the story of Swami, his divinity part of it. It so happened that, the Hyderabad youth group, as I was introduced, we used to take the best opportunity of rendering Seva all through the time. It so happened that during the 75th birthday, about 400 of us were there for about 45 days in Puttaparthi rendering Seva. All of us, working about 16 to 18 hours a day. Imagine working 16 to 18 hours. We know very sure that we were not working, but he was working. At the end of the day, Swami told us, it is not you, I was working. That's a different story. So after the program was over, 75th birthday was over, some of the boys left Prashant Nilayam without taking his darshan. Swami was very, very upset. He said, he called Ramanrao uncle and said, I am very upset with the Hyderabad boys. Seva, how much it is important, you should also ensure that my darshan is also equally important. Those of you who try to avoid to come to bhajans, who try to avoid and come see the glorious Lord who is sitting there, I am telling you, you are missing something. Darshan of Swami is very, very, very important. Swami made it very, very clear. My darshan is as important as seva work. It is his own words. Now it so happened that we were pulled up very badly in Hyderabad saying that you annoyed Swami. You guys didn't go for darshan. 45 days you were there and Swami is very upset. So 40 of us, what we did, we said, we will now go to Prashant Nilayam. We will go and sit in Prashant Nilayam. We will not do any seva activity. We will go, take darshan, come back. Take darshan, come back. That is all. So we went to Puttaparthi. And we were sitting in the darshan, morning darshan, come back, eat, sleep. Again evening darshan, go, eat, sleep. And the boys were very, very getting jittery. He says, Anna, kya kar rahe hain na hum? We are not used to this in Prashant Nilayam. We do some kind of an activity. Let us do something. We used to say, hey, only darshan, no activity. So 2 days went by like that. And third day, some of us, we were actually walking down from the sheds behind, and suddenly we found a smell, a filthy smell. So we asked some of the boys, "Kya dekho yaar, kya ho raha hai wahan pe?" So the boys went there and saw that the bathrooms were a little clogged, right beside North 7, and they were dirty. So me and another brother who were elder, we were leading the group. We went outside, we bought acid, bottles, phenyl, brushes. We went to the rooms, woke up, everybody said, "Party time is over, Seva work starts." So we started cleaning the bathrooms which are outside. Every bathroom in Prashant Lilium, we started cleaning them. And mind you, brothers and sisters, these boys who were cleaning were doctorates, postdoctorates, engineers, doctors, very, very well-educated people. They were not some village kind of guys or something. They were from very good families, they were doing it. So don't shy to clean your bathroom, that's what I want to say. So we started cleaning the bathrooms, and the most important point there was that, does your bathroom shine better than mine? This is the competition we had. I am cleaning this bathroom, you clean this bathroom. Which bathroom shines the better? So we started cleaning, and the last set of bathrooms we were cleaning at around 4:30 in the evening. ADA 90. I don't know how many of you seen. There's a red Maruti car. There's the first Maruti car produced in the country, which was gifted by Sri Bhargava, the chairman of Maruti Udyog, to Swami. The first Maruti car in India produced. So Chakravarti uncle and Chiranjira uncle both come. They come. So Chiranjira uncle gets down, and I was cleaning there. So he called me, "Hey, Junior Sitapati, come here." My father's name was Sitapati. He called me. I went running. Uncle, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Uncle, we are cleaning bathrooms." And he said, "Are you the leader?" I sensed, being from a bureaucratic family, I sensed trouble. I said, something gadbad hone wala hai pe. So there was another guy called Uday Bhaskar Reddy, who's 7 months elder to me. "Uncle, that fellow is the leader, uncle," I told. "That fellow is the leader." Then he called him, "Hey, you come here." He came running. And he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Uncle, we are cleaning bathrooms, uncle." And he said, "Who gave you the permission to clean bathrooms?" he said. And this Uday Bhaskar Reddy is a typical Telangana, Hyderabad fellow. He laughed at Chiranjira. Yeah, what, uncle, what are you telling? He said, "What are you telling, uncle?" And I don't know how many of you know Chiranjira uncle. The barometer, it goes up. He got very wild. "You are laughing at me?" he said. "Uncle, in order to clean bathrooms in my home, should I take somebody's permission? This is my home, uncle. Puttaparthi is my home. I am cleaning bathrooms. Whose permission should I take?" And now Chiranjira uncle got very wild. He left. Immediately he left. साहब चले गए, सब ग्रुप को बुला के, "अरे तू क्या बोल दिया भाई?" Chiranjiri uncle now uncle go and tell this Lord, Rama avatara, Krishna avatara, all avatars tomorrow, Krishna avatar also we'll see. So Swami will listen. Tomorrow Swami will take us to task. In the morning we were seated in the Sai Kulwant hall, and Swami was walking towards us saying, "Rowdy gang, rowdy gang, rowdy gang." He came towards us. And we sensed it that there's going to be trouble now. Then Swami said, "Hey, Himchestri, what did you do?" I said, "Nothing." Swami said, "Go." So all of us, we went into the interview room. Once we were seated in the interview room, Swami was talking to us. Then suddenly he said, "What did you boys do last night? Last afternoon, what did you do? Evening, what did you do?" Then we said, "Swami, we clean bathrooms." Swami's next question, "Who gave you the permission to clean bathrooms?" So everybody looked at that fellow who said, "Ab bol beta tu." Swami ko bol, kya bolna chahta hai bol. Then he said, "Swami, no Swami, you did not give us permission, Swami. You gave us an opportunity to clean bathrooms, Swami," he said. And the moment that word came, opportunity, Swami was so happy. He said, "Chala santosham ra, chala santosham." And he went on to the Swami materialized and showed the Kanaka Parmeshwari no stud. He told us, this is the diamond, the original diamond of Kanaka Parmeshwari. He told us it is 30 crores worth. And we had an opportunity to touch that and everything. He said, "I put the guards to sleep and I brought it to show." Then at the end of the session, of the interview, Swami asked a beautiful question. He said, What is the greatest reward that God, He showed Himself? What is the greatest reward that God will bestow on a good worker? ఒక మంచి సేవకుడికి భగవంతుడు ఇచ్చే రివార్డ్ ఏంటి is what Swami said. Then we said so many things. Swami said, no, wrong. Then Swami said, I will tell you. He said, for a good seva worker, God, He showed Himself. The greatest reward that God bestows is that I give another opportunity to serve again. So all of you, remember this. If you intend to get closer to Bhagawan, mentally, physically, spiritually, try to involve yourself in seva activities. Never let go an opportunity. Every opportunity that you get in your life, strike at it and render that seva. Swami has many a time told, I will take care of 7 generations before and 7 generations after you also for a good worker. In fact, Swami once told us in an interview, if you wear a scarf and stand for 1 hour out there, Swami said that I will take care of your lifetime, I will take care of you. And I am a standing example before you. Swami takes care of you. Every problem of your life, just leave it him. Krishna Arpanamastu, Sai Arpanamastu. Just leave it as His divine force. Surrender is the greatest thing that you can do. Because you will never find a greater devotee, a greater God than Bhagavan Sri Sathya Baba in your life. This is something that I want to tell you. Do seva, involve yourself in studies. Those of you who are there, a lot of sisters are here. I think the entire Sai mission runs on sisters who are there. You know, you are the backbone of the entire organization. And it is only if all of us put together. Rama, when he was there, I don't know how many knew Lord Rama. Jesus, we don't know. Allah, we don't know. Who took the path forward of Rama? Who took the path forward of Jesus? Who took the path forward of any godman that who came? It is the devotees. The legacy of an avatar has to be taken forward, but each one of us who are sitting here, it is our bounden responsibility. We have to go forward. And the moment we step forward, and the mission of Sai continues. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, don't make Swami a part-time person in your life. I always keep telling this. If you keep Swami as part-time, Swami works only part-time basis. The moment you think Swami is within you, Swami is your inherent divinity, Swami is full-time with you, every action that you do in your life, everything that happens in your life, He is the one who will take care of you. He is such a beautiful friend of yours. And I would like to end with a poem that I always sing at the end. I do not know how many of you understand this song, but Pala Bugalavadu, beautiful cheeks. Pala Bugalavadu, Chekili Machagalavadu, Pala Kadalanta Nuduru Galavadu, Pannaga Sayanudu, Ungarala Juttu Galavadu, లొంగదీయగరానివాడు కోటేరు ముక్కు కలవాడు కోరికలను జయించువాడు పగడాల పెదవుల కలవాడు పంచమ శృతి కలవాడు ధరణి తల్లి వినపము మీద దివి నుండి భువికేతించిన పురుషోత్తముడు దీన జనార్దనుడు ప్రశాంతి నిలయవాసుడు అతడే మన ప్రాణమిత్రుడు అతడే సనాతనుడు ప్రశాంతి నిలయవాసుడు సత్యసాయిషుడు. జై సాయిరామ్.
As the resounding applause was evident, and I believe I speak for the entire audience here, we were rooted to our seats, wrapped in attention. And sir, you asked me if you overshot time. It is only now that we realize that what the time is. We were also engrossed in the wonderful tales, the wonderful experiences, and his story. I remember about 20 years ago when I was a student here, there was a mischievous classmate of mine who had a novel somewhere in the seat. And the teacher who was taking the class at the time caught it and randomly opened one page. And there in bold letters, somewhere in the middle of the page, were the words, "The Chosen One." And at that moment, this professor, instead of, reprimanding the student or chiding him for bringing a novel to the classroom, brought a very important lesson: aren't you the chosen one? And then he looked at the entire class and said, aren't you all the chosen ones? And this is a lesson that we all have. The reason we are here today, the reason we are here in his divine proximity is that we are the chosen ones. And not now, as Sir pointed out. We've been chosen for hundreds of births, and this is, this is something, we've been with Bhagawan for hundreds of births. So many beautiful lessons, the power of vibhuti, the power of Bhagawan's name, his eternal, all-encompassing love, or as Sir put it, the purest form of love. This was a story not of an individual, but of an entire family dedicated to serving Bhagawan, implicitly obeying the word of Bhagawan and highlighting the importance of Seva, whatever it may be, and an inspiration to all of us to take up the path of service eternally. As a token of our love, gratitude, and appreciation for you to share these wonderful moments from your life with us, with Bhagawan, I request Sri Nandagopal, our esteemed faculty member from the Brindavan campus, to please present a memento to Sir. I now invite Sri Sai Kumar, the District Spiritual Coordinator for Bengaluru East, to please present Dr. Gopi Krishna Pidatala with the shawl. And Sir tells me that they share a history. Sri Sai Kumar is a part of the Hyderabad Boys, the Hyderabad youth. Before we conclude the evening, a few announcements for everyone about the upcoming events and activities. Tomorrow, as we are all aware, is Sri Krishna Janmashtami, and we will be having the celebrations here in the Brindavan Ashram. Starting at 5 a.m. with Omkaram Suprabhatam and Nagar Sankirtan, 9 a.m. special bhajans by the Brindavan Bhajan group, concluding with Mahamangala Aarti. In the evening, we will begin again at 5 with Vedam, a devotional offering entitled Krishna Ni Begane Baro by the children of the Sri Sathya Sai Balvikas, followed by the Divine Discourse and Mahamangala Aarti and Prasadam at 6:20. I now invite Gopi Bhaiya to please offer Mangala Arti to Swami, following which we will have Trai Pradakshina and Prasadam. Jai Sai Ram.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्र शयना ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ओ साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा ओम शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।